is built to last.
Another death linked to issues with people reaching 000 has prompted a fresh call for action from the regulator and federal government. TPG Telco says a person has died after a Samsung device running outdated software was unable to connect to the 000 emergency number. Shadow Communications Minister Melissa McIntosh says not enough has been done since she raised the issue a few weeks ago.
Stood in this very spot and warned that people may not be ready to move on to another device. Perhaps they couldn't afford a new device and they certainly may not know about it.
The death of a woman in a crash at Port Augusta last month has been added to the state's road toll. The 58-year-old woman was struck by a car in a shopping centre car park and died in hospital soon after. Her death lifts the road toll to 79. The driver, a 23-year-old woman from Port Augusta, has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. SA's world-leading rollout of automatic defibrillators has expanded to the public transport system. Every train and tram now has one, and 70% of Adelaide Metro buses. Defibrillators will also be fitted on 130 regional buses over the coming weeks. Heart Foundation General Manager Claire Gardner says they're easy to use.
They will give you step-by-step instructions of what to do. They also are safe to use. The devices are really smart. They will not deliver a shock unless you need one, so you actually can't do any damage.
From January, the devices will be required on all public transport vehicles and in all public buildings and swimming pools. The state's health and disability support workers will be getting an extra pay packet within weeks. The union voting to accept a wage increase of between 24% and 44% over the next 3 years, while Sunday penalty rates will also skyrocket by up to 200% for many. Union Secretary Demi says the workers were being undervalued.
It does sound like a lot of money, but the wages had fallen to the minimum wage. They were completely out of step with everywhere else around the country. So it is simply about creating some parity. They're not going to be the highest paid in the country by a long shot, but they'll certainly be able to keep up with their counterparts in other states.
The Cambridge Dictionary has announced its 2025 Word of the Year. It's parasocial, a connection people feel with someone they don't know, or even with artificial intelligence. The term was actually coined in the 1950s when people felt they knew the characters on their TV screens. Now turning to 5AA Sport. The Adelaide 36ers will fire up for the first Ignite Cup game tomorrow night. They host the Hawks. Each team plays 4 games as part of the tournament, and the winning team takes home a prize pool of $400,000. That is split 60-40 to the players and the club respectively. Co-captain DJ Vasiljevic is on board with the in-season tournament's incentives.
I'm a fan of them because there's money at stake for the players. More games, obviously, for teams, which is a big thing for us. More games, less practice. But no, it's a good initiative. I think they're trying to do what the NBA is trying to do. And yeah, every quarter matters now.
Collingwood star Nick Dacos says he can't wait to play for Victoria alongside some of the biggest names in the AFL. Dacos says, I'm also looking forward to playing with former school teammates, Brownlow medalist Matt Rowell and maybe Noah Anderson.
Hopefully Noah Anderson will be selected too, so a little bit of a throwback. Obviously, they both had great years, and I think that's the amazing thing about this game. You get to play with stars around the league, and hopefully it's a great spectacle.
Port Zach Butters also named for the Big V earlier. To cricket, English fast bowler Mark Wood has been in the nets preparing for the first Ashes test on Friday afternoon in Perth. Wood was under injury cloud, similar to Josh Hazlewood, but was seen hitting decent speeds in the net. And Leighton Hewitt is coming out of retirement to play his first professional tennis match since 2020. The 44-year-old former world number 1 will play doubles with his 16-year-old son Cruz at a Challenger event in Sydney. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Pennington, a burst water main to look out for. Grand Junction Road near Eastern Parade. At Glandore, hole in the road there. Anzac Highway opposite the shopping centre. That's probably not great. Road plates getting fitted to sort that out today. And Croydon breakdown on the north-south motorway near Torrens Road. Quite busy at the moment. South Road at Edwardstown with a camera. Baines Road at Woodcroft for Savo. You already know that it's better to be an RAA member, and now the rewards are bigger than ever. Members enjoy 10 cents off per litre at Caltex. Check the RAA website to find your closest station. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Defibrillators Australia, protecting hearts, keeping your business compliant. Don't risk the fine. Defibrillatoraustralia.com.au.
Chance for shower this afternoon. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 21 the top. Thursday, partly cloudy and 21. Friday, partly cloudy again and 25. Saturday, 27. Sunday, mostly sunny and a top of 29. Right now, it's 20 degrees on 5AA. Now let's see what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglas. Tonight, the pregnancy bombshell from a former reality star accused of murdering her partner and cutting off his head. More local schools caught up in the Playsand asbestos scare. Mortgage holders on notice. Why experts say there won't be any more rate cuts this year. And is man flu a real thing? Scientists weigh in. 9 News, your news. 9:36 on 9 and on 9 Now.
The Amelie Charity Home at Mount Barker is complete and set to go under the hammer with no reserve. Join David and Will as they broadcast live from the auction this Friday morning. More than 30 South Australian businesses and individuals have come together to build this double-storey family home, and net proceeds from the sale will support Variety SA, the children's charity. Get along to 2 Emerald Way, Mount Barker, and check out this stunning property. Maybe even walk away with the keys. Catch David and Will live from the Amelie Charity Home Auction at Mount Barker this Friday. All thanks to Variety SA and 5AA.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA. 5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
So Giants is a new book by photographer and filmmaker Jem Cresswell. It is a beautiful coffee table book. It is just the most extraordinary images of majestic humpback whales. He joins me this afternoon. Jem, lovely to see you. Congratulations on the book.
Thanks so much for having me on. So glad the book's finally out there in the wild.
I'm looking at this. It's such a great piece of work. You should be so proud of it. It's more than just the photos too. Like, the photos are extraordinary, but I love the storytelling with it.
I think it was important just to give a bit of context to some of the experiences and some of the situations I found myself in. It feels quite otherworldly being underwater with creatures that large. I mean, the adults are up to 16 metres long, which is, a couple of metres longer than our standard buses. So having a creature like that come up to you, I think it's important to convey some of the feelings you have when you're in that moment.
So I'm looking at the book. It's the perfect book that you can pick up, put down, pick up, and you'll find different things in it. You're looking at how good the photography is. You're imagining, I guess, how you're doing it too and reading the stories. I'm fascinated, Jim, by the logistics, like how and where. I imagine it's not easy just to jump in the water with southern humpback whales. How do you go about it?
So I went over to Tonga, where they've been swimming with them since the early 90s. And whilst working on the project, I kind of got a little bit addicted to it. So went back 5 years in a row. But I had an incredible Tongan guide that I worked with on this, and he's just been swimming with them for so long. He can just look at a family of whales and read their behaviour. And it's kind of me putting trust in him allowed me to have these incredible scenarios to capture these images. In anything related to wildlife, if you try to force an interaction because you really want a shot, it's the quickest way to pretty much never see a whale.
Really?
It's all about time in the water and being really calm, really low heart rate, and having them come up to you. That's when I was able to capture those beautiful sort of eye contact whale portraits, as I like to call them.
Yeah, they're like selfies right up close. You took more than 11,000 images, Jem. You're like my 14-year-old, but what a labour of love for you. Like, how many times did you dive? How long did it take you to put the book together?
Well, I originally started the project in 2014, so it has been 11 years all up. It's been a long-term project. But, yeah, after I finally... I basically worked on an exhibition series and exhibited 6 images. And then I thought, the rest can't live on forever on my hard drive. There's over 11,000 images and some really unbelievable moments that I was lucky enough to have with these creatures. So that's kind of how the book came about. But then it was, how on earth do I cut it down? So it took about a year to cut the images down to about 300. And then I printed them all out, put them up on the windows all over the house. And slowly over time, we took down the ones that weren't as strong. So, yeah, it was a very long process. And I don't know if I really want to go through that again.
Oh, they're just amazing. So nature would suggest, you mentioned about getting your heart rate low and just being as still and as quiet as you can. But where you are in the photos, like these are humpback whales with calves. Do you go unnoticed? Is there any kind of protection mechanism that kicks in, or are they just completely different to most animals who want to protect their young?
Look, they're just so aware of their size and such a conscious creature. Entering the water, like with the right whales from quite a distance away, normally I'll sort of play dead or act dead on the surface and just float. And you can see their body language, them relax. And you can see them looking at you going, I wonder what that is. And it's when they came over to me that I was able to get those beautiful portraits. But it's just purely time spent with certain whales. There was a few calves that I photographed in the book that I swam with a number of times over a period of a few weeks. And you'd see them just become so much more confident and grow so much larger in size. I mean, the calves are sort of putting on 150 kilos a day, drinking like 350 litres of milk a day, trying to be fattened up to survive the trip back to the cold waters of Antarctica. But yes, to answer your original question, they're just so aware of their size. When a whale would come up to me, because they've only got one eye either side, they would put their pec fin out to judge where I was. Mm-hmm. And then you'd see them drop their pec as they went past me, and their eye rotate as they would watch to make sure they were past you before they put their pec fin back up. So it is quite unbelievable how gentle they are. I mean, their tail muscle is the strongest muscle in the animal kingdom. So, yeah, I'm sure that can do some damage, but they're just, they're incredibly sort of gentle and calm creatures.
So you've got curious babies and you've got breaching mothers. Am I right? You've got singing males in there too. You can hear it underneath the water?
Yeah, even some of the singers that were so loud, we could hear above the water resonating through the hull of the boat. So
wow.
You could, it was quite incredible to witness that. But diving down to some of these singing whales, the deep tones would vibrate through your whole body. And on the high-pitched tones, you would want to put your fingers in your ears. So it's kind of a full body sensory experience. And because they're so static while they are singing, quite often, it was a moment for me to put the camera down and just take in what I was actually witnessing. And I think it's always important to have those moments where you can just really appreciate what's going on in front of you.
Oh, it is such a core memory for you. Like, you would have experienced emotions many of us never get the chance to. The sheer size of these beautiful creatures, like the awe that must be, you must just feel so minuscule and so small. And yet that must be, as I say, it's almost like space exploration. Not many of us get to go under the water with whales of that size and just be a part of that. That's such a treat for you.
I think if it was compulsory for everyone in the world to swim with a humpback whale, the world would be a very different place. So I understand logistically that's probably not possible. But the waters off Tonga are just so deep. I think it's the second deepest ocean in the world, the Tongan Trench. And so in a lot of the scenarios, it could be a few kilometres deep where I was floating on the surface. So if you couldn't see an object like a whale, it was just literally a dark blue void. And you've got absolutely no way to judge distance or depth or anything like that. And they would sort of, when a whale would come up to you out of that blue, I mean, that's what's really helped isolate in the black and white images, isolate the whale and draw your eye to that, to that kind of, to its, to the interaction. But yeah, for me, it felt incredibly humbling, and I felt very insignificant. But it's almost, without the males singing, it's quite a silent world under there. It's almost meditative.
Do you take lessons away from it? Did you find yourself, while you were floating there, does your mind wander and think, something a bit deeper than just a photography book or a filmmaking experience?
It's definitely very meditative, and it definitely, you do find your mind going to many different places and running through other scenarios in your head or replaying events. For me, it sort of taught me to appreciate all the different forms of life on this planet. And the number one thing it taught me throughout this process was patience. Yeah, you just you may want an image, but you've got to wait for that to come to you.
Well, congratulations, because your patience paid off. Like, it is such a beautiful piece of art. And not just that, but it's a great record too of these extraordinary creatures that I'm sure many of us aren't going to get to experience. So people can check it out. The book is called Giants. Photographer, filmmaker Jim Cresswell is my guest. It's a New South publication. As I say, Jim, congratulations. It's such a beautiful piece of work. It's 11 years of your life. Have you got something else on the to-do list, or do you just relax and enjoy this one for a while before you think of your next adventure?
The process is well underway. I've been up on the Great Barrier Reef working on a project on the dwarf minke whales.
Okay.
So they're like a subspecies of the minke whale, but a lot smaller, so only like 6 to 8 meters long. But they're a very metallic looking whale, very perfect, clean skin, and the light just sort of reflects and shines off them. Quite a different looking creature, almost like they're sculptured out of metal.
Wow.
And they all migrate to the ribbon reefs off Cairns for 1 or 2 months a year. So been working on a project on them, and hopefully people can learn more about that species, which is one not a lot of people have seen.
Well, it's great work you're doing, both from an environmental and, nature perspective, but also as an art perspective. I mean, look at the front cover. That alone just sells a book right there, Jim. Congratulations. Lovely to meet you. As I say, a beautiful piece of work.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for the time. Cheers.
All the best. Giants. You can't miss it, where you buy all good bookstores. Photographer, filmmaker, Jim Cresswell, my guest.
This Black Friday, treat yourself to Binge. Now just $2 for your first month. Don't have Binge? Sign up before December 8th at binge.com.au/Black Friday. Now that's satisfying.
When your aged care isn't that caring, when your rights are ignored, and you feel you're not being heard, call the Aged Care Advocacy Line on 1800 700 600. We help you find the care you need, fix the care you have, and stand up for your aged care rights. That's 1800 700 600. Free and confidential support is as easy as 876. A service of OPAN and Aged Rights Advocacy Service.
When you think of single malt Scotch whisky, you might imagine Scotland's green hills, her fresh babbling brooks, and rows of oak barrels. But you can get the same feeling right here in Adelaide when you walk down the aisles at Powell's. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through Scotland's best whisky labels and the best from around the globe, all under one roof. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Powell's, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
So this November, you can join the Rotary Clubs of Adelaide South and the Fleurieu for Purple Waves of Change. This is a Rotary Says No to Family and Domestic Violence Community Day. It's all happening this coming Sunday, the 23rd of November at Nashwalk Reserve there in Moana. It's from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. You can start the day with the Purple Dog Walk at 10. By the way, dogs are optional there. You can also hear from inspiring guest speakers from 11:15. There'll be free face painting for the kids, all-day barbecue, high teas, rides for the children, live music from Sticks and Specks and Purple Monkey, a crowd favourite too, the Purple Chuck-a-Duck competition. It is a full day of family fun with a very powerful message that together we can help end family and domestic violence. You can find out more on the Purple Waves of Change Facebook page.
South Australia, the countdown is on. By January 1st, all businesses and venues with public access over a certain size must have a defibrillator installed and clearly signed. Failing to comply could mean a hefty fine. Defibrillators Australia make it simple, with approved AEDs, cabinet signage and certification already before deadline. Don't risk it. Call 1300 33 1193 or visit defibrillatoraustralia.com.au today. Defibrillators Australia, protecting hearts, keeping your business compliant.
Every new Chevrolet Silverado now comes with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty and 5-year roadside assist. Because when everything else breaks, the Chevrolet Silverado has your back. Surrounded in luxury, it can still take all the hard knocks. And if the trail gives up, the Silverado keeps you going. The Chevrolet Silverado. Brought to you by General Motors Specialty Vehicles. Live big. Truck it. T's and C's apply. Visit gmspecialtyvehicles.com.
5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
Thanks for tuning in on this Tuesday afternoon. Complete Care live stream, that's complete with a K, Facebook and YouTube. Great to have you tuning in and watching us at the same time. You want to tune in after 3:30. Two legends will be in the studio. The great Greg Chappell will be here. Greg's got a new book with Ken Peace, legendary sporting journalist. The writer of hundreds and hundreds of books. In fact, I think he holds the record for the most amount of sports books written in Australia. So we'll speak to those two great men coming up after 3:30. There is an engagement tonight at Dimmicks in Rundle Mall from 6:30 if you want to get along and see them in person. So you know South Australia loves our beer. And South Australians also love their cars. Well, now you can enjoy them both at the same time because South Australia's very own Little Bang Brewing Co. and the Adelaide Rally, they are putting the pedal to the metal. They're teaming up for an exclusive brew. It is called the Special Stage Session Ale. Oscar Matthews is the head brewer at Little Bang. He's also an Adelaide Rally competitor. Joins me this afternoon. Oscar, welcome.
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I want to talk about your driving career in a minute, but first, tell us about this beer.
Oh, yes. So we've teamed up with the Adelaide Rally this year. I guess it really came through with our connection to the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, which we've been the exclusive beer supplier for the last couple of years. But I guess for me, I've always had a long-standing history with Adelaide Rally, having competed dating back to 2016. So this year we decided let's make a beer together.
And certainly you have. Now, Brooklyn, who does our live stream for us, Complete Care live stream, we've got your video of the brewing process. I mean, I wonder how many people, Oscar, are not just in it for the beer. First and foremost, it's a delicious beer that they'll enjoy, but it's like a collector's item too, what you've created here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's what we've done here is we've taken the event art, which changes every year, and they work with a unique poster, some iconic cars. So we really use that to wrap the can, and it's something pretty cool.
Did your love of beer or rally come first? Were you a car guy who then started drinking, or vice versa?
I think it was probably almost hand in hand because generally you have a long day of motorsport, you've probably broken something on the car,
yes,
and then best way to get over that is to have a nice cold refreshing beer at the end of the day.
So that's what you want? Big flavours, hazy pales? That's what you're after?
It.
Yep.
Yeah, but something super refreshing and light on the booze as well. So it's only 3% this one.
Tell us about your driving career. How long you been doing it?
I've been doing it since about 2015, 2016.
Okay.
I think that was my first Adelaide Rally.
And the enjoyment from it, is it just pure adrenaline? Obviously there's a great skill set to it too. What was it that attracted you to the sport, first and foremost?
I don't know. I've always had a bit of a passion for motorsport. Somehow it ended up being rallying. It's a bit of a different challenge to circuit racing, and we've got some amazing roads in the Adelaide Hills, so what better place to experience them?
You know, Oscar, every time you speak to someone in sport, an elite sports person, you think, you're mad. Greg Chappell's coming on soon. He's facing the West Indian bowlers bowling like these rockets. Sometimes I see rally drivers and I think, you're mad. I don't know how. You must have such great coordination, hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, we are. Could be a little bit mad, maybe. Yeah, it's a bit of a different sport, that's for sure. But, I love it. I really, for me, it's really about the classic cars.
Yes.
I compete in quite a bit of an older car now. It's, 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And before this one, it was an old 1984 Toyota Corolla. So, for me, it's really about the classics and that raw driving experience.
You've been the beer supplier for the Adelaide Motorsport Festival for the last couple of years. They're the organisation behind the rally too, which is terrific, that collaboration. More than 400 cars, I know, are interested and entered into this particular. You've got motorsport enthusiasts who are all over it too. Where do we get our hands on the beer, Oscar? Are we able to taste it during the festival and also away from that?
Yeah, so we've had pre-sales live on our website for the last couple of weeks, and it's also available through the tap room. Once it's gone from there, we've had to keep some aside for our little pop-up at the Strathalbyn Town Stage on Sunday the 23rd of November.
Yeah, beautiful. So this coming Sunday you can do that. So on tap at the rally events across the festival. Oscar, well done. I know there's a lot of people, myself included, who get attracted to even if you don't, I'm a non-drinker, Oscar, but I like the cans. Like, they look amazing. And the people that will keep a couple, probably never open them, just keep them as a keepsake. And then the others who will actually get to crack them open, as you say, after a long day and enjoy that special stage session ale. So well done to you and your team.
Thank you, mate, and I really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Good luck with the racing too this weekend. All the best.
Thank you, mate.
All the best. Oscar Matthews, Little Bang head brewer and long-time Adelaide Rally competitor. Nice work, Lenny, on the live stream too. For anyone who was watching the Facebook and YouTube, that looks cool. I think that's great. Anytime you can do something a little different with your products, you know people are going to drink them because they enjoy them. But now you've got a collector's sake. Look at that. Wouldn't that look great in the man cave or, you know, the room or on the office? Something for everyone. Well done. The Adelaide Rally 2025, Little Bang Brewing Co. Pick it up yourself. The special stage session ale, either at the event or at Little Bang.
Say goodbye to power bills for good and store your clean, green energy from the sun with a Franklin Whole Home Battery. Valued at $14,000 thanks to NRG Solar. 5AA's Variety Radiothon is on Friday the 28th of November, giving you the chance to bid on this amazing solar storage battery thanks to NRG Solar and Franklin Whole Home Australia, with all proceeds going to our friends at Variety, the children's charity. Visit 5AA.com.au. All thanks to NRG Solar, Franklin Whole Home Australia, Variety SA and 5AA. From the coast to the outback, if you're planning a road trip, Ned McHenry will help you get there. Join Ned every Thursday at 11 a.m. with Graham Goodies for On the Road with Ned. Thanks to Travel Auctions. Dreaming of a bargain holiday? Bid the price you want to pay. Travelauctions.com.au. Bid, win, go.
The GWM Get More Hybrid event is on now. For a limited time, you can get more range, more power, and more value, with savings of up to $4,000 across selected models. The GWM Get More Hybrid event is the best time to make your move to hybrid. So go with more at your local GWM dealership today. Terms and conditions apply.
The wait is over. Harvey Norman Black Friday sale. Unbeatable deal. Dyson V8 stickback half price. Now just $374. Save over $1,800 on Samsung 65-inch 4K OLED TV. Now $3,467. Save over $120 on Ninja Slushie. Now $358. And Hisense 10-kilo front-load washer. Hot deal just $692. Best brands, best range, best prices. There's more in store at Harvey Norman Black Friday sale.
They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home, but sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there is no place like home. And with the right support, there is no reason to leave it. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
Hi, I'm Mike Steele, CEO of Care Alert. Over the years, I've always made sure that we keep a presence on 5AA. Being a talk station, they really know how to connect with their listeners, and the results have always made it worthwhile for us to keep on investing. It's always great when people come up to you and say, hey, I heard your ad on 5AA. That kind of feedback never gets old.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link for more information.
Get into Tyre Power and get the power of their holiday getaway sale. Right now, Tyre Power gives you the power of a safer drive before you get away over summer. Get away safely with a new set of Falcon ZX ZE 310R passenger car or CT60 SUV tyres. Buy 3 and get 1 free. That's right, save on a safe set of Falcon tyres during Tyre Power's holiday getaway sale. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local independent owner.
Discover the world's last great wilderness, Antarctica, with Phil Hoffman Travel on board Scenic Eclipse, the world's first discovery yacht. Immerse yourself in ultra-luxury as you explore shimmering glaciers and untouched frontiers. Indulge in spacious suites with butler service, all-inclusive dining and beverages, and once-in-a-lifetime scenic discovery excursions by Zodiac, kayak and submarine. Book your Scenic Eclipse voyage now and save up to $12,600 per couple, exclusive to Phil Hoffman Travel. Visit pht.com.au.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Tamira Francis with the 3:30 news headlines. 2 grieving mothers have launched an alcohol safety campaign ahead of this year's schoolie celebrations. Some of the state's lowest paid government workers will get a pay rise of more than $15,000. A bump in the road as a former reality TV contestant accused of beheading her partner in Port Lincoln is pregnant. And in sport, rubbish. That's how former Test captain Ian Chappell is describing the hype of England's Bazball. The 5AA forecast. A shower or two this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow, a top of 21. Right now it's 21 degrees. We'll have more news for you at 4 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Always live. 5AA. Always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
Thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday afternoon. Get on your Complete Care live stream right now, Facebook and YouTube, because 2 legends are in the studio. The great Greg Chappell is here, along with legendary sports author and journalist Ken Peace, because there is a new book, The Chappell Chronicles, Strength, Strategy and Success. And tonight at Dimmicks from 6 o'clock in Rundle Mall, your chance to hear from these 2 legends about the book, meet them, get the book signed, all that and more. Great thrill to have you both in. Greg, firstly, lovely to see you. Welcome.
Nice. Thank you, Leith. Nice to be here.
And Ken, thank you for coming in. Lovely to see you too.
My pleasure.
We've never got to meet before, so it's a thrill to have you both in here. Just quickly, your brother quoted in the news there.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange for Ian to have an opinion. But I saw a clip of what he said. It wasn't quite as dramatic and savage as that, but basically, I mean, he said that's what your job is, a batsman, score runs, get them as quickly as you can, give your team time to bowl the opposition out.
Do you see childlike qualities of your brother and yourself now as adults? Like, was Ian an outspoken kind of kid? Were you analytical as a kid coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I've known him all my life, obviously. He's always been there. We're 5 years apart, which sort of the early years, I didn't have a lot to do with him because he was off with his mates of the same age, and he didn't want a younger brother 5 years younger hanging around when he was 9 years of age or 12 years of age. But he obviously ran out of friends around the time that I was 9 because all of a sudden I was interesting and someone that he invited to play the Test matches in the backyard. So we've been opponents from day one, almost, from a cricket point of view. Sadly for me, the Test matches in the backyard were always Ashes Test matches, but Ian, as the older brother, was Australia, and I had to get used to being England, which wasn't that easy to get used to, but I just didn't want to be beaten by my older brother, so that was the challenge, and I always was beaten by my older brother. But when I look back on it, the lessons I learnt in the backyard about loving the contest and hanging in there and just competing were pretty good life lessons. So whether he tried to teach me or not, he did. And luckily I learnt most of the lessons pretty well.
Ken, Greg, the tables would have turned, of course, with you being Australia and young Trevor being England. But there was a famous occasion there where maybe the wicket might have got warded and you were lucky to escape with your life from one of those backyard contests.
Well, as the then older brother to the younger brother, I was responsible for looking after the pitch, and it was a hot summer's day in Adelaide, 40 degrees. And we used to play serious matches, and when you got out, you had to go into the laundry and write the score of that player down in the scorebook and come back as the next bloke. Well, while he was away, I had a look at the pitch and I thought it looked a bit wilting and needed a bit of a
livening.
Yeah, a little bit of just a sprinkle of water. So I got the watering can and just gave it a little dusting. And Trevor came back, sort of faced up, and he said, "Hey, you've watered the pitch." And I said, "Well, not really. I just sort of, just gave it a little drink." So he stormed off, but he was heading inside. But unfortunately, there was a water tank outside the back door, and Dad had obviously been pruning some of the fruit trees in the backyard and left a tomahawk on the tank stand, and Trevor decided that was a better way to sort the problem.
Oh dear!
So he came after me with the tomahawk. Luckily, I got a bit of warning when I saw him coming back with the tomahawk. I realised that he wasn't aiming to prune any trees, so I'd sort of ducked between the trees and got down the side of the house and got out and stayed out for a couple of hours until he calmed down. But when I look, I had to get over the side gate, which was the real obstacle, but I managed to get over that. But just as I landed on the other side, I heard the thunk with the tomahawk into the gate. And I thought, well, if I hadn't got out of the backyard today, I may never have got out of the backyard.
Do you know, we all kick footy as kids, but you don't have these great nostalgic memories of that. But backyard cricket, you do. You're a legend in the field of sport writing, Ken, because you're in the Australian Football Media Hall of Fame. You're in the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame. Have you got a love of, did you just love, like most kids, footy in winter, cricket in summer?
Well, I was saying to Greg before, I was so lucky. My dad was always my best mate as well, because we'd go to the Melbourne Cricket Ground in the summer, see Victoria in Australia, but also to Hawthorn and Glenferrie Oval in winter. And so he loved having a mate he could hang out with on a Saturday, get away from home for a while. And that love of sport was just inherent in me. So between Greg and I, we're up to around about, might be more than 80 cricket books that we've written. And I like to throw in 7,000 test runs as well between us.
How many books in total have you written, though? Like, your number's extraordinary, isn't
number
it?
90, yes.
And you're the number one Australian sports writer in the country.
The most published. Jack Pollard, going back years ago, he got up to 97. So Jack is not here anymore, Leith. I'm coming at you, mate.
Well done. Greg, hold out in once. Do you get not overawed? You know, like, Greg's a hero to all of us. Now that you get to write with him and spend time with him, like, sometimes we pinch ourselves and take it for granted that the man who we used to imitate in our backyard as kids in the southeast is sitting right across from us here. Well, does that ever leave you, or you still get a thrill when you speak to people?
It's still fantastic. Picking me up at the airport today, but we all had the old grey nickels, and you wanted to. Greg started to use a scoop, so it means we had to buy a scoop cricket bat as well to be like the Chappells. And they go out against New Zealand, and both made centuries. Was it in both innings? Yeah. So they were the biggest names in sport, and the Chappell family are still the biggest name in Australian cricket even today. And Greg has been a voice of Australian cricket in this particular book, The Chronicles. It's not only the best of writings going over 40 years, but there's probably half of it is brand new. So I've been so lucky to be involved right at the ground floor with all the brand new writing as well.
I'm going to talk about the book. Quick one. My brother was Dennis. I was you. Who did you imitate? Like, when you were kids growing, did you have a favourite player, Australian?
Absolutely. I mean, most of the good Australian players of the time were New South Welshmen, although Neil Harvey was my favourite, and he started off in Victoria. Even though he was left-handed, I just loved the way he played. So Neil Harvey, Richie Benaud, Alan Davidson, they were the sort of players that I followed. When there was no TV in the early days, so if you wanted to watch cricket, you had to go and watch it live. So Dad would always say, go and watch the best players. These are the guys you should watch. So that was always pretty much the New South Wales team. Gary Sobers, obviously, when he came here with the West Indies and then played for South Australia, I was a teenager. So he's no doubt the best cricketer that I've ever seen, best batsman I've ever seen, best all-rounder I've seen, best fielder I've seen. He was a superstar and a lovely fellow.
KG says that. Golfer too. Like, every sport you ever played, he was the best.
Left hand, right hand.
Just amazing.
Outstanding.
Can you see a correlation between everything you've done in life in sport and everything you've achieved in life outside of sport? And is that something that, you and Ken together were able to tap into, that the strength and strategy and success applies to both those of us who never play for our country, but also just get through life and business?
No doubt. I mean, the beauty of team sports and cricket particularly, because it takes so long, certainly the red ball side of it, 4 or 5 days of cricket, you've got a lot of time for things to happen. And most of the life lessons that I've learned have come from cricket, just accepting that some days aren't meant to be. I mean, you can work as hard, you prepare as well, do all the things you usually do, but doesn't happen. I mean, Don Bradman batted 80 times in Test cricket and only made 2,900, so he failed 51 times. So dealing with failure is probably the most important thing that you've got to learn early, because if you can't deal with failure, you're in trouble because there's a lot of failure. So
it's character building, isn't it?
It's very character building.
And it breeds really good people, because if it is 40 degrees out on a Saturday and you're feeling out at mid-wicket all afternoon, you're going to have a special mentality about you to still love it, don't you?
Well, I drive past cricket grounds now in the middle of summer and I think, how the hell did I do that for so long? There were other things to be done, like going to the beach, doing other more interesting things. But I mean, I'm glad that I did it. I did it because I loved it. And that was, because of the era in which we played, it was a pastime. It was amateur cricket for most of my career. So you did play it because you loved it.
I often think of the parents too, who are sitting there watching little Johnny gets out first ball, and they're sitting there for the rest of the day watching all of that. So Donald Bram, every time Sir Donald would speak, like everyone would just hang on every word. The Chappells have that aura though too, don't they? Like when Greg talks, when Ian talks, like there is such a respect of what they're able to achieve on and off the field that people hang on every word.
Well, Ian would certainly call a spade a shovel, and there was one day there I upset him with one of the stories I'd written, and he gave me a bit of a ticking off. I didn't tell you all this, Greg, but the next day, "G'day, Ken, how you going today?" Like he had said what he had wanted to say, and then he'd moved on. And I thought, he's going to hate me forever. But we were on beautiful speaking terms ever since, and he's done the foreword to this particular book, The Chappell Chronicles, and some of the writing is just terrific. He talks about Greg's not only skill but his fierce focus, and even in the backyard when he might have been caught behind, Greg refused to admit that he'd actually nicked the ball, and Ian's got his twisting it around his back there. Say you hit it, say it. Greg refused to say it, didn't you, Greg?
I didn't hit it, that's why. We're still arguing about that, by the way.
That's even a great life lesson too, isn't it? That if things get you down, if all of a sudden you're faced with adversity, you either have a decision to make, you stew on it, or you just drop it like that and the next day you move on, do something different.
Well, I think that's also important with sport, that you can't afford to carry too much with you. You've got to deal with it and then let it go. Learn the lessons from it, and there are always lessons to be learned. And I find that today with golf. I mean, I'm a keen golfer, and I relearn the same lessons over and over again about golf. And I sometimes just shake my head and think to myself, how many times do you have to keep learning this lesson? But that's the beauty of sport. Luckily, we grew up in a sporting family. Sport was always there for us. Balls, bats were always there when we were kids. We learned to catch. If we wanted pepper and salt, get ready to catch it, because it was usually thrown to you. So, Dad taught me to catch. I reckon I was 18 months, 2 years old. I don't remember it, but I remember him telling me that, he tried to teach me to catch, front on, told me to watch the ball, but I kept watching him. So it wasn't working. So he turned me around to face the wall and threw the ball from behind me against the wall, and so I had to watch the ball.
Reflexes like that.
So I mean, it was brilliant coaching, really. Just sadly he passed away at the age of 64, just after I retired from cricket. So before I got involved in coaching, I would love to have sat down with him and talked coaching with him, and what did you understand? He couldn't have got so much right by accident.
You've interviewed and written about legends for your whole career. What sets them apart? What is something that Greg has that you notice and you put in books like this where you just go, right, these are the things that we should take away?
Well, some of the lessons Greg was talking about, like Martin would walk around the house with a cricket ball and suddenly throw this cricket ball, and the boys would catch it. So I do the same with my little grandson now, Orion, at Blair Gowrie, and his dad says, I don't want to break the balls, But it's really lovely, those lessons, but everyone's got a story to tell. And I think this is why sports writing for me is so interesting, because I would just sit back and I'd listen. And there was an old opening batsman for Australia who became a gynaecologist, George Toms, and he said to me, "You're a really good listener, Ken." And I said, "I'm just loving it, George. Keep on talking, keep on talking." So I've been lucky enough to be imbued with footy and cricket all my life, and the opportunity to be able to talk to, from the Don to Greg Chappell to Scott Boland now, who, saying to Greg, he was, as a young guy at Frankston, my club, he was 18 and a half stone. Yet one winter he went away, lost 5.5 stone, and here he is opening the bowling for Australia on Friday in the Test match.
That's amazing.
It's an amazing story.
Build the statue for him there.
Yeah.
Wayne Phillips is one of ours. He works here with it.
Yes.
He's got a photographic memory. He can, as you know, he tells every run that he ever made, but he also remembers where people were positioned, stuff. Do all cricketers have that? Do you need to have that kind of memory? And in life, when you're retelling stories and thinking of things, have you got a photographic memory of your career, or are you someone that just lets the past be the past?
Yeah, there's a lot of it I remember. Yep. A lot of it I've let go. I don't sort of live in the past. Okay. I do like telling the stories, and I do enjoy, having written them down. I mean, there were so many great stories. You just had to, had to put them down. And I'm glad that we got around to doing that. And I'm glad that most of the stories are in one place now in the Chronicles, and so forever they're there. But I don't know that I've got the photographic memory that Ian's got or Wayne has got. I mean, Ian remembers blokes that he played against 40 years ago, 50 years ago. And, we'd play touring matches against just the local county team. And I struggle to remember who played in the same team with me, let alone on the opposition. The stuff that he remembers is quite uncanny, and it's quite amazing, really. I'm not quite that bad, but I think, just getting back to your previous question, I think being able to focus on something for long periods, although you don't have to focus on it for long periods, it's just short snaps of concentration.
Yes.
And learning that lesson was probably the best lesson that I ever learned, that I don't have to concentrate for 2 hours.
Yep.
I've only actually got to concentrate for 2 or 3 seconds at a time. And concentration is nothing more than focusing on what's important right now.
Yep.
And that is applicable in any part of life.
Not just cricket, in all parts of life.
Oh, yeah. Well, Greg's never forgotten, though, the Lord's honour boards, have you, Greg? Maybe one of the most crowning achievements that you love in cricket, being on those. And not necessarily for batting.
Yeah, no, I'm not at Lord's, but at Sydney Cricket Ground, I'm on both the batting and the bowling. I got 5 wickets in an innings in a Test match against Pakistan at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and that probably gives me a bigger thrill than being on the batting honour board. I got on the batting honour board at Lord's, but unfortunately, Ian didn't give me enough overs at Lord's to get on the bowling.
I thank you so much, both of you, for coming in. Give us a lesson or something you want people to take away from the book. Ken, I'll start with you. What do you think people will enjoy most and get out of the Chapel Chronicles?
I think they'll love the underarm and Greg's personal protests at the time, because the captain was not only captain, but he was manager. He was ringing up the taxis, had no support at all. And Greg was just exhausted down on his feet. So the real story has been told in the Chapel Chronicles about that underarm.
Yes.
And a moment when maybe you weren't fit, Greg, to be captain of Australia, but he explains why. I really enjoyed that. Plus the Tomo talking about electric Jeff Thompson, the cyclone, and how Greg signed him up for Queensland because I don't want to face him anymore.
No,
that makes sense. Greg, for you?
Yeah, look, I think just committing yourself to something.
Yep.
And focusing on the things that are important, not getting caught up in the stuff that's not that important. Finding out. I don't know who the fellow was. I was working with Coca-Cola bottlers here in town. I reckon it was out at the Nord Town Hall. Heard this guy speak, and he'd been probably the 6th person from a variety of backgrounds who'd spoken about success. And his message for the day pretty much was, find out what you need to be good at to succeed in your particular field of expertise. And that message really hit home. I remember walking down the back stairs of the Nord Town Hall and started thinking about, what have I got to be good at? And probably watching the ball and just playing each ball on its merits. They were the things that it just changed my whole practice, the way I went about practicing cricket.
But that is such a great message, because there's many of us without a sporting bone in our bodies, and yet you can take that and do it with whatever part of life that you want to achieve and have success in. So great to have you both in. Thank you. You're a legend. You know
Thanks,
that.
Leith. Thank you.
You know that.
And we look forward to seeing people down at Dimmicks tonight from 6
You're a
o'clock.
legend too, by the way. You Inside Footy? That was the magazine, wasn't it? The newspaper? We were talking about that in the office before. That was just like a religious kind of rite of passage at winter time. It was just the best. Greg Chappell and Ken Peace, the forward by Ian Chappell. The book is called The Chapel Chronicles, Strength, Strategy, Success. It is a Wilkinson publication, available now. where you buy all good books, wilkinsonpublishing.com.au. You're at Dimmick's tonight in the city. Now, you can get in from 6:30 there.
6 o'clock.
You're speaking, you're signing, you're having a chat to people when they get to rub shoulders with two of the all-time greats. One legendary cricketer, of course, and coach, administrator, all of that. And, of course, a legend in the world of sporting journalism and author, too, in Ken Peace. So, Greg Chappell, Ken Peace, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Lee. Thank
Back
you.
after this, we'll find out what's on the Sport Show next.
It's Adelaide's premier LGBTQIA plus arts and cultural festival. Feast is back. Celebrate diversity, love and inclusion from the 1st to the 23rd of November. Explore Feast's biggest program in over a decade, with shows from over 1,500 plus artists, with 117 events across 67 venues. From murder mystery nights to sing-alongs, drag high tea to gay bingo, and of course, the Feast Comedy Gala. There's something for everyone. For more information, check out feast.org.au. Proudly supported by FIVEAA. Always Adelaide.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide. Wouldn't you love a reward just for shopping at your local Star Discount chemist? Become a Superstar Rewards member to earn points, receive birthday vouchers and more. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help? Earn and redeem points on eligible purchases. Visit website for full terms and conditions.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The wait is over. It's here. The Care Alert Emergency Watch. In a sea of ordinary emergency watches, only Care Alert shines. Fall detection, GPS location. Its brilliance is in its simplicity. All in one elegant waterproof wrist essential. 24/7 protection. Your choice of monitored or non-monitored. This is the Care Alert Watch. Protect the ones you love. Visit carealert.com.au today.
Buy the advertiser today, find the daily code word and enter online for the chance to win a share of $50,000 in IGA gift cards. Get your Christmas groceries on us this year. Conditions apply. SAT 25/1787.
Win one of 5 $20,000 luxury holiday packages in next week's St. John Christmas Home Lottery daily draws. You could also win the incredible $5 million grand prize package with 4 stunning waterside homes to choose from. Plus, there's over 10,000 other prizes to be won, including the McLaren GTS Supercar Members Prize. Enter before midnight Sunday for your chance to win. Buy your tickets now at stjohnlottery.com.au. Licence M14834. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
When you're hosting a family Christmas party, you might start with a go-to roast, a drama-proof seating plan, and that gravy recipe that's a family secret. But those in the know find all the answers in the aisles at Pal's. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can make sure you have the best wines, beers, and spirits for everyone. And great gift ideas too, all under one roof. Parafield Airport Liquor Store, Pal's, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
I've found Homemade takes the stress out of managing home care services, so you get the support you need your way. They're friendly, knowledgeable, and here to help, so you don't have to figure out aged care on your own.
Hi, how may I help?
And with their lower rates, they make quality care affordable, which is why they're Australia's best value home care. Homemade. Smarter support at home. Search Homemade support today.
The GWM Get More Hybrid event is on now. For a limited time, you can get more value with savings of up to $4,000 across selected models. So go with more at your local GWM dealership today. Terms and conditions apply.
5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
Stephen Rowe, Tim Geneva coming up very shortly on the Sport Show. The great Greg Chappell is here. He might actually want to hear these texts before we walk out the door because Rowe's about to join us. This text message says, a cheerio to Greg, not a top grade turf wicket myself, but as a resident of St. Cloud Street at Nova Gardens. Myself and a couple of neighbours prepared one on a couple of Christmas Eves. Do you remember those neighbours, Greg, from that particular era?
First house was Nova Gardens when we were married.
Yeah, Neville, when they got married. How good's that?
Stop it.
The great Greg Chappell's there.
Great Greg.
And then this one said, from Jason, I was 12 years old when my hero Greg Chappell and brother Ian invited me and my mate to join in at their cricket game at a Glenelg East Park. You're just letting neighbours play cricket with you too? He's a good guy. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg.
Well,
How
as good
good's
as any
that?
that's played the game, I'll say
legend.
that. Well, Greg, and I'm not just saying he's there, we had him on not that long ago. Greg, Rod Marsh and Dennis Lilly were the three.
Absolutely.
And any kid in my era, now I'm 60.
Same.
You're either Rod, Dennis, or...
Correct.
Greg.
So my brother Troy was Dennis. He was the bowler, wiping the sweat away.
I was Dennis,
the
'cause my
shirt
brother batted.
open.
Yep,
We all
yep.
got the gold chains.
Did you used to,
I was Greg.
Did you used to paint the hair on your chest?
Moustache. Bit of a texture moustache.
Oh, they were the days.
But I love the fact too, and as I said to Ken, sometimes you pinch yourself. Like, there's your childhood hero
He
sitting
is.
across from
and
you.
just a beautiful man.
Yeah.
I know that's a funny word to use for a champion and someone that was as fiercely competitive and as professional as anyone, but he is. They're just magnificent. I wonder if the kids of our age, so my son does, he loves cricket.
Yep.
Never played it. We did it in the backyard, but he'd always go to the test, loves it.
Yep.
And I think he's got heroes like we had, but I just wonder if Warney certainly
forms.
Yeah.
No, I think of the kids, a lot of them are the overseas
So
players
Steve
now.
Smith?
No. I think
Mitch Stark?
No. I think a lot of it now is internationals.
I think
It's
might be.
NBA players and it's
I think it is.
Premier League players.
See, we never had that nowadays.
No, that's right. But there's so many great lessons in this for
There
life,
is.
not just in sport as
Yeah,
well.
no,
So,
it's a great book.
6 o'clock tonight, Dimmock's in Rundle Mall if you
down
want to
there.
go and see the great Ken Peace and the great Greg Chappell. What's on the big show?
Actually, don't know.
All right, we'll see you next.
Coming up next, Adelaide's only local sport show. It's the very latest in sport.